What's going on, people? This is Drive Time with Adam. Today I'm in my shop. I didn't really have anywhere to go today, and I had some shit I wanted to say, so, you know, uh, it's gonna get said. So this one's about, we're gonna talk a little bit today about the so-called MAGA bomber. Alright? Um, this retarded looking guy down in fucking Florida they caught yesterday. But I'm gonna go through this, from the beginning. I wrote two things on this on my Facebook page and shit. Just shared it with friends. I had some people get it and some people didn't. So I'm gonna go through this in a little bit better. You know, we're gonna cover it a little easier. Because now that it's a complete story, now we can. It gives a little bit more, information. So let's just I got it written down here so I could just, cover the points and not take, fucking two and a half hours to get this shit done because nobody want to stare at this shit for 2.5 hours. So all right. So if you don't know what happened, right, over the last few days or so, a half a week, there's been suspicious packages that turned into mail bombs, right? None of them exploded. They were sent to all Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Brennan, Robert De Niro was one of the recipients, George Soros, and a lot of people that have been critics of Donald Trump. A lot of people that are democratic in nature, and you know, uh, between you and me, a lot of people that have been suspect in being deep state as well for a while. It's not just since this come up. So what do I got here? I got number one. I mean, what happened? Sending to the top Democrats. Basically, it's laying the groundwork. You know, to say a Republican did it, or a right wing extremist, or somebody that's a Trump supporter, or something around that line. Now, this was, if you're not tuned into the happenings, in our country, basically lately, the last couple of years, it's all been about Trump. What Trump wants, let's go against that. What Trump, doesn't want, let's push for that. All right, we got this, let's push him for more. See, he says this, so watch somebody go out and shoot something up, or what, it's all the mind fuck, to a good portion of Americans. To some of us, we see what's going on, but we're swimming upstream. This shit, it's not common to think the way that I do. Uh, but it doesn't mean that it's an invalid uh, way of perspective. So it was right before the midterms, right? The midterms is November 6th. That's, I don't know, about a week and a half away from now, right before the midterms. And this goes in with other things that are happening as well. This migrant caravan situation coming up from, I believe it was Honduras. Correct me if I'm wrong. But coming up through Mexico to park at our border and demand entry and asylum. Basically my viewpoint on that is it's just one more thing, that Donald Trump can and has to address, and therefore the people can be outraged over it. So right before the midterms, it's kind of like the media, the news sweeps week. That's kind of what this seems like this last 30 days now. It kind of seems like everything is like 10 times more important than it normally would be. People are reacting in far extreme ways on both sides, more than they would, and shit, I can't wait for the fucking midterms to be over. I can just cast my damn votes and go, and then we can get back to some normal shit, maybe some fucking progress in the country again. That'd be nice. All right, so let's talk a little bit. they found these bombs, right? They were black powder or smokeless powder, whatever. They had a digital timer on it. Okay, now to most people, this is just fucking random information. I mean, why would this be important? Well, you got to take a look at it from somebody that's doing this. Is he doing this to fail? Is he just trying to fucking scare a bunch of people? I mean, it's unlikely. It really is. If you're gonna go through all this trouble, you're gonna go to prison either way. I guess now that they caught him, I think he was facing like 45 years or some shit. I don't. But a timer though, like you got to understand that a package, right? It gets sent to a specific person, right? So whoever's opening this is either that person in this case, or somebody very close to them, at least the same office or something like that. And why wouldn't it be triggered like any other bombers done in the past? Okay, why wouldn't there be, why wouldn't there be a trigger that goes off when it's opened? If these were truly your targets and you felt truly like this is what you need to fucking do, why wouldn't it actually target people? Why would it just try to wing it? I guess they discovered 13 bombs, and all of these you're going to try to wing them all. There's a very narrow window between somebody getting a package, like it actually walking into the room. In case of Hillary Clinton, for instance, one of her people brings it into the room or whatever, or they open it somewhere else. Either way, but it's going to happen that way either way. So obviously they're not going to bring up a pipe bomb to her like, hey, Miss Clinton, you received this in the mail. I just wanted you to look good on the desk. Yeah, fuck that, dude. They're going to open it somewhere else, or they're going to walk it into the room, and then she's going to open it. Boom, right there, done deal. If that was the case, if it wasn't open somewhere else, but no. They use a digital timer, right? This is inherently stupid. All right, this is extremely unintelligent. It is very inefficient. It's not the way I would have done it, and no, that's not fucking admission of any type of. Don't come for me. I'm just a fucking American using my First Amendment right and shit. Holy shit. Yeah. Anyways, it's not how I would have done it. Being an intelligent person and thinking about this scenario and applying what I would do in this scenario, there's a very narrow window between the point in which that person opens or it gets into a kill radius with this individual. They open it, and then what? They open it, it's not going to go off because it's still on a timer. So it affects the other side of this too. They open it, and immediately upon opening, either in the mailroom or on the desk of this official, it doesn't go off. So it's like, oh, a pipe bomb. I'm just going to put it in my desk drawer, till I'll read it later. Oh, they're going to fucking evacuate right now. And right then, she's going to run out the room, or he's going to run out the fucking room. They're not going to fucking stick around. Well, unless you're a reporter for CNN. In that case, he'll slide it out and be like, oh my God. Let me stick around here and document this. Almost like they didn't know it was, almost like they didn't think it was going to go off or something. So there's a very narrow window. The digital timer is the dumbest. I mean, you're sending them across to California, and come on, no. Next fucking point. Next point. All right. None of them exploded. That's right. None of them exploded. The fact that none of them exploded in general says a lot. It says loads, when you apply other information to this, as well. It shows that either this individual is extremely incompetent, enough to set this up and, so on, but couldn't actually build these devices. With plans on the internet, I'm just saying, you can figure it out, You could do it. But none of them exploded. They all had the same flaw, and essentially they were inert. It was just sitting there. There was real no harm to anyone other than the scare, the anxiety and shit. So if you were going to be going through something as planned and as serious as this, right? And based on the markings on the van, and everything, I could say that this individual, it was probably serious. It looks as if he meant to go, he meant to kill. He just fucked up. But why wouldn't you, if you're going to invest all this time, all this money, all this effort into doing these things, and finally taking that damn step and taking out those damn Democrats, why wouldn't you test it? Why wouldn't you test this solitary fucking plan that you used 13 times? You copied it 13 times and you didn't test it? Not one of them? That's weird. I mean, how easy would that be to just go out to a state game area or somebody's land and blow it up? Just at least put the timer for 5 minutes, sit back, sip some fucking tea, and boom. Oh shit, okay, it's gonna work. And that's the kill radius, and research and development. But no, just fucking throw it together. All right. So these bombs passed USPS scans, right? Right. They claim they caught some of them. So the next part is they passed USPS X-ray, scanning. So they must have been made, I guess a few of these were stopped, so they must have been made from materials, that beat these scanners. Another thing, how is this information known? Number one, I mean, I'm sure it's not classified, but not everybody knows exactly what our mail goes through, unless you work in the business or investigate it or something, I mean, figured it wasn't common knowledge or anything, but hey, the device used black power, or black Jesus Christ. The device used black powder as its energy source. This is a real, I guess you'd say, redneck way of doing this, a black powder bomb. That's some type of shit that, I would do to, like remove a tree stump or fucking, break a rock, or, it's real basic, isn't it? Black powder. But, yeah, and it's something anybody can get. You just walk into a store and just like ammunition, you buy some black powder. So, it could possibly be, as times go on and shit, and they start breaking the shit down and, picking everything apart of how they could have banned this situation, ban bombs but anyway, it's highly used in the gun industry. So, I mean, that's one of those things where if they talked about a ban on black powder or restriction or anything, and I'm not saying they are or anything like that. This is just speculation, just some points that I had observed in this that could be something or might not be. But the overall is the goal. The overall is the, what are you drawing your conclusions for? You make a bunch of assumptions based on fact and based on weird ass shit, and eventually you come up to some sort of narrative. It usually takes quite a bit more time than the government takes to come up with their narrative, but in the media. But critical thinking takes time. When you don't have it laid out in front of you, like, okay, 9:45, next step, release this. Anyways, but I also put, what is the game plan here? How can you possibly think these bombs will pass all the USPS locations just fine, beat all the scanners? Nobody's gonna find it as suspicious. The detonators are gonna line, timers, the digital timers, gonna line up perfectly, and all these just, yeah, all of them, gonna get them all. How could you possibly think that that was going to work? That this plan was really going to work? I mean, fuck, seriously? But you know, hey. So I made an observation that there was, and this was I believe it was day before yesterday. I did this, so it would have been shit, I don't know dates, man. It had been the 25th of October 2018, and yeah, I made a observation, or maybe a guess, that they was either going to find absolutely no DNA or fingerprint, but most likely they was going to find, they were going to find an abundance of DNA and fingerprints. They were going to find everything they needed to track and, get the suspect. Uh, One was the narrative that this was just going to happen and nobody was going to get caught, which didn't end up happening. So it was the other narrative of a patsy, or somebody's going to get caught. It's going to be really quick and done. Put away. No questions asked. Open and shut case. And that's exactly what I'm staring at here. That's what it's looking like here. So you know, apparently they got this guy from a fingerprint and DNA. So no gloves. Gloves didn't come into his plan, and a hairnet, or hell, man, if you're doing something this elaborate, you should be in a motherfucking. You should have plastic on the walls. You should have motherfucking a surgical mask on. And everything. You should be performing a surgery while creating these devices, handling, picking up, purchasing the supplies, purchasing the envelopes. I mean, you think about it, right? You plan this elaborate scheme, and then you're just like, fuck it, let me just spit over here, right over the package, there goes some spit, fucking let me scratch my head and shit, a little dandruff fucking falling down. Yeah, all right. All right. So, there's a very small risk, right, to the actual targeted individuals. This how do you all right, if you were going to plan for some elaborate scheme, and this is hypothetical, if you were going to plan for some elaborate scheme to do this, to knock out part of your crew, or not knock out part of your crew, but get people to think that they were either shot at, or shot, or a bomb exploded around them, or at least went to them, or fucking, how are you going to get that sympathy, that support, that, oh shit, a Trump supporter struck us right at our top, all of us, and to collect that sympathy and to exchange it more, like, oh, Trump needs to do this and that and the other and this, because these words and shit can hurt people, and no, 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 no. No, the words are interpreted. The person is responsible for committing these acts. There's no amount of words somebody could fucking tell me in my face that is going to make me go out and shoot somebody or blow somebody up or anything. That I'm just going to turn around and be like, well, what they said, I couldn't help myself. It was just what they said. It overcome my mind. And just thinking about that, this just came up. What this individual wanted to speak with his lawyer. That's some information in itself, and I'm going to cover that later. But what if the person wanted to speak with his lawyer about setting up some sort of interview, or going to try to push this excuse that he was mind fucked or brainwashed by President Trump, or Republicans, or Republican propaganda, or it's possible. I'm not putting very much weight in that at all. It just popped up in my head. I just said it, so I'm curious. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe he'll be part of it. Maybe, he was a patsy. Maybe he didn't know what exactly was going to come back to him, and he found out and, want to say shit or, whatever. But it's just an observation. But if you're going to do this, right, you can't be killing all your cronies, your Democratic folks. You can't be doing all that. So there has to be a way to have the threat be viable and be severe and everything else while not actually putting these people in harm's way. Because, even with an accident, even if the detonator, which would make sense, if the bomb was viable and would have exploded, because they could have set the detonator for, a time where they all knew not to fucking be around, because they have schedules and shit. Maybe they know they fucking at this time they're never in the office. Let's set it to go off then, or something. I'm not saying any of this is fact. I'm saying that this is the type of shit I think about. This is the type of shit that a lot of Americans think about. And honestly, it shouldn't be looked at as if it's absolute. I don't have absolute proof. I have 20 fucking things that point towards a very suspicious story. And I'm leaning towards thinking that there's there's something on the Democratic side to this that is not this open and shut case that they're suggesting. So, but these things aren't true false type. It's a situation where you just need to look at these things as a point. Just as a point, you can be like, oh, that's not really shit. Okay, that's kind of fucked up. All right, that one is too. That one isn't too bad. I can see this. But then you got to zoom out, because, all right, that one's small as shit. But, anybody that's investigating something, anybody that's fucking looking into something, knows that you can't just look at something small until you see the big picture and how it plays a role, how it does what it does what it does, what its position does for the overall. So you have to consider something. You don't have to fucking, you don't have to fucking sit here and say that all these points point towards the same thing or anything. But they're points. You just need to read it, understand what it means, and then either disregard it or, apply that to what you already believe. See what fits, see what doesn't fit, and draw your own conclusions. The conclusion I'm coming up with here is my own. I didn't get this conclusion from anybody else. These are two posts that I wrote on my Facebook, 2 days ago and then today, and I just from seeing the news and, the mainstream media, as well as an alternative source. I mean, I don't, shit, but my opinion is lining up with others, and we've never talked. I don't know these people, and the one I watched, actually, I never watched his channel, actually. So it's not somebody that I normally watch. So how can somebody turn around and then say, you're crazy? Am I? Am I for thinking that something that other Americans, a decent portion of other Americans think? No. Fuck no. No. I'm aware. I'm open to possibilities. And I'm not saying that this is this or that's that. I'm saying that it's a very suspicious set of circumstances. Like many other false flags are, like many other actual, events can be. It depends on what they are. But honestly, a lot of events have ties. And by ties, I mean to the deep state, to, the rich elite. They need laws a certain way. They need the public to be viewing the government, to be viewing certain subjects certain ways. And if they have to change something to, to whether to get us to go to war or whether to get us to start fearing for the flu and start buying up medications and shit at, record numbers, that's neither here nor there, It serves a purpose. You just got to be aware. That's it. That's all I'm advocating for. You don't have to believe any of it. You just need to see it, The way I look at things, you can be you can be against something, but as long as you are informed to it, so you can be you can oppose my view of this and of other things as well, as long as you're informed. You know, I don't have a problem with it as long as you're informed. If you know the points that I know, because they're common knowledge, then you can disagree. You don't have to agree. But these things are they're very suspicious. Um, so yeah, that's the way to put somebody in harm's way while not actually putting them in harm's way. An inert bomb, something that's not going to go off, or is just flat out fake. That'd be the way to do that. I mean, there's other ways as well. You could have a sniper at like a rally, and then have the sniper not hit them, of course, but like miss or something like that. The media reports it as a failed attempt on this official's life because nobody else got hit. So obviously the shooting was for the speaker, right? So it's misreported, or well, I guess kind of half-ass accurately reported. I mean, according to them, there was a shooter there and that person was speaking. So it's an assumption that would be common. And from then on, everybody thinks somebody tried to kill this person at one of their rallies. I mean, it's that's the same type of thing. This is just widespread. So this is after he got caught. So this was today. Update and discussion, part 2. The suspect himself is a point that I'd like to make, or something just to realize or acknowledge and move on from. The suspect himself. I said, first off, this guy doesn't seem near intelligent enough to put something like this together. And I meant it that way. You looking at his picture, and no, I'm not judging solely off his picture, but you looking at his picture and you don't see this plan embedded in there. It doesn't seem capable of. He may have built the packages. He may have, been just a guy chilling in fucking Florida. He may have just been a guy with a prior history of a bomb incident or a threat, and ended up being a patsy or fucking just sitting down there and being the guy they roll up on. Who fucking knows? It's difficult. See, I have a laptop in my brain, okay, and cigarettes and shit, and I mean, I got a decent amount of supplies here, but nothing like what the government has to be able to pull something like this off. I mean, you kidding me? The unlimited money and resources, and you're not doing anything corrupt, right? Anyways, so yeah, I said, of course he had a prior bomb threat on his record. They tell us there's a bomb threat, and he got a single-year probation for it. So you threatened somebody. The way I heard it, I thought it was a fucking judge or something, or something like that, or a magistrate, or don't quote me on that. Something. He threatened somebody with a bomb, and you got a year of probation for something like that. Okay, but then they go on to say that they don't know the specifics of those the charges and crime. They don't know what exactly happened, just this. And I believe it was that there was something with some sort of judge or whatever. But I mean, even though there was a bomb threat to somebody, and he got a year probation for it, but we don't know what the rest is, or we won't say it. So that either tells me they really don't know what the circumstances are, which could either be, A, they weren't provided to them because they don't want them to expose that, or B, maybe it was just a plant. Maybe it's just, bam, right on his record, all right, bomb threat, 1 year probation. Those are the two things you need. Oh, and a date. Those are the few things you need to actually have something listed on your record. You ever do a background check? You know, what do you find? You know, you don't find fucking, well, he fucking walked down the street, you know, with his dick out and shit. And, you know, somebody came up and was like, hey, motherfucker, can you give me your wallet? And he smacked him with it across the face and he broke their neck. And, you know, see all that shit, you know. You see, you know, indecent exposure, this date, you know, and the disposition, you know, went to prison for 196 years, you know. That's what you see. You don't see fucking, you know, so it could have been a background check they ran. So it could have been something that they didn't know. Or it could have been something where, you know, the government supplied it to them and the government didn't want them to know, which essentially means the masses to know. And it could have also been something that just popped up, you know. It could have just poof, you know. Nobody who's doing a background check and searching for this guy, you know, nationwide before this happened? Nobody. But afterwards, if it's there, are you really gonna fucking know? Are you gonna know that the background check before said this, but now, you know, no, you're not at all. Man. Yeah, I also mentioned that the very words, just saying on the media that he had a prior history of a bomb threat, cut and dry right there. Takes him and any suspicion, done. He's made bombs before. He's used them or been caught with them. He's probably had them in his car, and I can't imagine. Jerry, did you know that this guy had fucking planted C4 stuff and shit in his ex's car? And man, you wouldn't believe, and no, I'm not saying that shit happened, but you wouldn't fucking believe the amount of shit Americans will make up. You wouldn't fucking believe it. It's like the most, it's like a game of telephone in a room full of posters, and everybody's tripping on LSD, trying to explain what the fuck they're seeing and hearing. Okay? The shit that happens in America, holy fucking Christ. You would know, you might believe it. Shit, you motherfuckers might be some of the ones saying it, you know? But anyways, holy shit. You know, the type of things that people, just hearing those trigger words, bomb threat, right there. Anything else that comes up from this guy is irrelevant because he's a bomber. That's what that means. And this evidence could have been there, or it might not have been. Next point. He was basically living out of his van. Now, I'm going to have to be upfront and honest with you on this one. It might be right, might be wrong. This whole number 2 point here, the money in the van thing, it could go either way. I was told this information secondhand. I don't like spreading false information. I'm either A, being sarcastic, 2, you know, I'm fucking around, or, you know, 3, stating facts or common knowledge, what's happened on the fucking information, or I'm going to let you know. And this falls under number 4. I don't know. I haven't read this anywhere. I haven't been told this anywhere, but this was told to me. That he was basically living out of his van, or homeless. Basically, this means he probably doesn't have much money available. You know, living out of the van and shit. Yeah, he has enough money to buy all the items to create these inert package bombs, the ones that didn't go off and shit. You know, purchase the stamps, the propaganda, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. I was like, shit, the black powder alone for 13 of those devices would have been well over $100. You know, we're talking, I believe they said it was a 1-inch pipe. Was it? I don't remember. I think it was a 1-inch pipe. But either way, I mean, we're talking about, you know, container about that round and probably that full. So, you know, that might do, what, 3, 4 of them? That container is like, shit, last time it was like, what, $20, $30? I mean, it's quite a bit. I haven't bought any in years. But, shit, it's something to go out and spend your money on when you don't have a house or anything else. He really must feel that strong about his cause, I guess. So you gotta buy the piping, the black powder, the digital timers, the packaging material. Those envelopes are, fuck, I don't know, $1.15, $1.30 a piece. That's it. This explains the whole thing. He bought a 10 pack, and borrowed three from the post office. That's probably what it was. But anyways, again, this could be a small point, or it could be another point to consider. Um, yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, this would have cost a little bit of money. I mean, it's a little, but it'd been his life's savings, the van savings. All right, moving along, moving along. This motherfucker likes to talk too much, don't he? Yeah, I'm gonna knock his motherfucking ass out. Don't worry, as soon as this camera's off, I'm. Oh my God, Jesus, I'm coming, Elizabeth. The van itself, right? This is a big fucking red flag to me. Fucking huge. It's like a fucking red flag parade float, you know, of just like little scenes of every little fucked up thing the U.S. government has done to its citizens, all on the. It's a fucking float to a parade of a motherfucking red flag. This shit is ridiculous, right? Take a look at the van, the propaganda, right? This amount of propaganda is okay. As somebody that spends a lot of time on the roads of America, I live in Michigan. As somebody who spends a lot of time on the roads of America, this propaganda I haven't seen ever. I've never in my life seen this much propaganda on any vehicle, any vehicle, ever. All right. So this van had a ton of anti-democrat or people that have been critics of Donald Trump all over it. The crosshairs and everything. Uh, you know, how did nobody see this? How did nobody recognize this? I've never in my life seen this amount of political, let alone this extreme of political propaganda on somebody's vehicle. I live in Michigan. I spend a lot of time on the roads, and I've never seen it. I've never seen this amount, this sheer amount, this wall of this bulletin board of fucking bullshit and propaganda on somebody's fucking vehicle. I'm not saying it didn't exist, but I'm saying that I've never seen something like this. It would stand out if I seen it. Okay, there'd be pictures, and then with pictures or whatever, they're posted on Facebook or videos like, look at this motherfucker cruising by and shit, yada yada. It, there's our man right there. Fucking look, fucking Hillary and Obama, and going through the fucking list. You're running them down like, wait a minute, this motherfucker. We need to talk to him. What? We're not talking about a simple bumper sticker here, or even a bumper full of bumper stickers. This it's extravagant. And if you haven't seen the van, I encourage you to go and check out this propaganda and check out the things I'm saying about this. This is fact. This is fact. It's in excess. It stands out. It lines up directly with what's going on with the targeting. It's extremely suspicious, and yeah, it shit. It's not a bumper sticker, folks. Go look at it. It's a bulletin board of extreme right wing propaganda and bullshit. Um, it's bullshit, and the reason I say it's bullshit is because it's propaganda. I don't like propaganda on either side. I don't. I like facts. I like facts. That's what I like. I like facts, and I like using critical thinking and the skills that we were fucking born with here to process information, and not a corporation controlled by just a few people telling just about everybody in America what to think, say, feel, and to be outraged at. So I like to think, and I like facts. This is bullshit. It's propaganda. It's propaganda. That's all it is, and it was meant that way, not by him, but by whoever put it there or whoever put him up to putting it there. That part's my opinion. Um, but fuck the propaganda itself. Okay, the propaganda itself, and I don't mean like each individual piece. I mean the propaganda itself in the window of the van. Um, I said it's not standard. It's very right wing extremist. Um, the propaganda. It looked all right. So you know how if you put like a T-shirt or a picture or a printout or wording or a paper or pretty much anything in the sun that isn't like metal or plastic. Well, even plastic over time, but it's it fades. The sun fades it. Sun bleached. You know. Uh, this guy lives in fucking Florida. Okay. This shit isn't sun bleached at all. This shit looks like it's hot off the press. All right, these pictures are fucking crisp. Okay, these pictures are crisp. All the colors are very vibrant. And somebody fucking tuning in or something or seeing this fucking, it become very easy. The pictures are fucking crisp. The colors are vibrant. But think about it, dude. Think about it. This is not something that's a deal breaker or a fucking, smoking gun. But come on. This is science here. How long would it take a picture to become faded or sun bleached in a window like that? At least to some degree. Fuck, dude. So this tells me at the very least, he put it up and it wasn't long ago. At the most, this is a plant that it's very fresh and it's very crisp and vibrant, and that this might show that this was all pre-planned, and not in the sense of the bombings, but pre-planned in the sense of the bombings and the subsequent investigation and apprehension and then cover up or his role in all of this. And either way it goes, but this I mean, it wasn't faded, and knowing how quick that happens in sun, in Michigan, let alone in fucking Florida, in sunny Florida, come on, it's ridiculous. Another point on that was they were very well organized. They were extremely well organized. You've seen bumper stickers and you know propaganda pieces and even other things, religious symbols and all sorts of shit on vehicles. And are they ever perfect? The way I see it, it's normally some are overlapping a little bit. Some might be crooked, and I mean, you put these on all at separate times, right? So, you don't get out a fucking protractor and a goddamn, to lay this out every time you do it. Maybe if you're doing a bunch of them, but not, So this seems sketchy because it's so perfect. Everything is just so sectionalized. You can see everything. Everything. There's no like, oh shit, what that last little word say? It, it serves its purpose, and its purpose being to point a finger, to negate negate suspicion. That's its purpose. But yeah, it almost looks like it's all one piece too. Like if you look at the corners, it could be like a poster with all this on there, or it could have been printed that way, but either way, just look at it. Just look at it. Does this look like something that you would fucking see on a normal basis? Does this look like something you would fucking see and say, fuck, it's just an American, or look at it and say, this guy has had these beliefs for, a long time and so on and so forth. You wouldn't. You'd find it kind of suspicious just thinking about it in a normal sense. Like, damn, that's fucking, those those colors are fucking popping. You know, shit. You know, red normally turns to like maroon and shit in the sun, but guess not these. Um, uh, for 20 years. So it's just there's some sore subjects in America and me. We got a long relationship of bullshit, and it's just continuing to get thicker. And all I can do is protect my family. That's all I can do as a fucking American, as a man. All I can do is protect my family, ensure my safety and the safety of my family, and I feel like it's my public duty to speak out against this and to encourage other people to broaden their minds, you know, to expand their thinking a little bit beyond tonight on the news, this, and this. Oh, well, I don't even need to watch it then. I know all that. Yeah. No. Fuck no. Fucking. Just wake the fuck up, man. This shit is not as cut and dry as you fucking think it is. This shit is. Anybody ever told you, any of you, that you know you got to teach your kids, right? The people that teach their kids that that America's free and it's the land of opportunity and beautiful things and amazing people, and everybody's unique in their own ways, and everybody's beautiful, and if you participate you get a trophy and so on, so that type of shit versus the shit that I'm teaching and going to continue to teach my kids, to be skeptical, not to immediately say no, that's not true, but to take in information from all sources, all sides, and consider that information with the best logical action, like the best logical pathway that could have taken to get there. You know, I mean, I just people's kids are too fucking trusting now. You know, it's scary. It really is, and I hope other kids don't rub off on my kids to that degree. You know, because I'm trying to actually, you know, teach my kids the right way to live, the right way to grow up, the right, you know, morals to have, the right responsibilities, the fact that the gun or the bomb or anything else is not to blame. It's the fucking idiot shooting or making it, you know, that is to blame. And that's the one thing America is doing a really fucking good job of covering up. You know, it's never the fault of the person doing it. You know, of course they go to trial. Of course they're found guilty and so on and so forth. But the emphasis really isn't there on that. No, that's the part that it's like empty. It's like, here's the trial of so and so and so and so, and yeah, you look at him just standing there and so on and so forth. Yeah, well, the firearms laws are making real good progress from this case, and you know, it's looking like we're going to be able to take away and ban this and this and this soon, and so on and so forth. And you know, it's like, don't you idiots get it? It's not the tool. If I take this chain here, right, and I walk down the street and I beat somebody to death with it, okay, I just leave their body there and I'm leave the chain there too. Of course, my prints on it, they come get me, and when they get here, they gonna blame the chain or me? Well, since that chain is just a chain, of course they're going to blame me. But had that been a firearm, had that been a pistol, had that been a shotgun, we're talking about a completely different narrative here. We're talking about a completely different set of circumstances. And it would have been handled absolutely different. I'm just saying that people need to wake the fuck up, you know? They need to fucking wake up. That, you know, that this world isn't friendly, you know? It's not. It should be, and it would be, but it's not. Because it's fucked up right now. The shit is just, it's fucked. There's a lot of shit going on. And the government's responsible for a lot of it. When you stop having the people's interests, you know, playing the role as your agenda, and it comes, your interests, our interests, my interests are replaced with, okay, that's what they want, okay, but what they need is this in the interest of national security with Martin Lawrence. Come on, man. Like, I'm watching this country go to shit, man, and I don't like it. I mean, obviously, I mean, not many people do, but I'm trying to do something about that by speaking out. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to like me. You know, I'm an ugly fucking redneck, that speaks my fucking mind and doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks. You know, that's what the fuck I am. You know, I'm a family man that protects my family. You know, and anything that supports me being able to be free, my family being able to be free, and me being able to, support and protect my family, I'm for that shit. Anything that makes it harder for me to protect my family or to support my family, or, puts them at risk, like my kids going to school, a gun-free zone, and being taught to hide under a desk, and personally knowing what most any firearm would do to a school desk, um, yeah, that's my little baby, and I no longer feel comfortable sending her to school. God forbid when my son's of age, and shit, man, we're talking about some common sense shit here that we can do to protect him, and we don't, because politics, because the wrong person mentioned it. You know, my kids are expendable to this government. I'm expendable to this government. You're expendable to this government. It just depends on the set of circumstances that come along that dictate who and how many are expendable. And that's what the fuck I believe. I believe that in the interest of, you say it to hide documents, you say it to not have our best interests at heart, and to allow and condemn, certain things. Okay, why can't I also say that for a false flag? Why can't I use the same fucking excuse? So you say you can't see this document. It's in the interest of national security. Would it happen to be the national security because of the nation? For instance, like if this document were released, and people were to read it and see what it means and understand it and spread that and start taking a stance against the shit, that the nation's security would be at risk because of the nation. Could that possibly be there's still the JFK documents. There's still JFK documents that are being hidden. We're talking about 1963 or 2 or 3. I think it was 1963, November. Fuck, if I'm wrong, y'all are gonna kill me. Fuck it. It was early 60s, okay? And he got shot for, this is in a whole nother fucking video, but from that time till now, we're talking a long time, and there are documents that still putting the nation at security risk, and we can't release them. Why? Why? What could possibly be in there? Our relations with Russia have come so far since that time. We've gone all the way through the good, the bad, the good, the bad, and we're back to almost Cold War again. So, what could there possibly be in there that puts our national security at risk? Except for the fact that if somebody finds out some information that the government was involved in some way, the CIA, NSA, whatever, well, be the CIA, that, yeah, national security probably would be at risk then, huh? But it's by your doing, okay? But anyways, why can't I use the same excuse for a false flag operation? All right, it's a fact that false flag operations are a thing, okay? It's a fact that they've been used before, okay? it's a fact that, current things are also suspected of being false flags. Um, why, when would we find out about this being a false flag? More than likely 20, 30 years down the road, if and when they release these documents, if they're not heavily redacted. Also, if you can use a document and hold it back because of national security, and the people are doing one thing and you think they should be doing another, which, by the way, the you saying one thing and the people doing another type thing, or wanting to do another, that's called fucking free will. That's right. Yeah, that's free will. And in a free country, it kind of happens that way. You may want everybody to just hand their guns over to you, but the people think, some crazy conspiracy theory that they kind of need firearms to protect themselves. Crazy, but I know. But why can't a false flag operation be set into motion to kill just a select few people, or to put at risk, or just lie like this? Nobody died. To do that, to get people off of one issue and onto another, or so on and so forth. If they think the country is going in a manner that's going to cause it to collapse, or cause it to spiral out of control, why couldn't, if they can hold documents, if they can hide shit from us, if they can test weapons on us, if they can, do all that other shit, why can't I use national security as a reason for a false flag mission or operation? Why can't that? They can, and they might, they might. That might be how they justify it. But like I said, all this is just fucking, all this is just points. Take it or leave it. I'm gonna retire this one. Got some editing to do. It might be a couple days before this comes out, but just keep your eyes open. That's it. If you see something that's weird, mention it to somebody. Think about it. God forbid, fucking sit there and think. Son of a bitch. I mean, fuck, dude. Fucking K through 12th grade and then college, going that whole fucking time being told to think, being told to figure things out. And you fucking get out of there, or you might even still be in there. But when it comes to the fucking world around you, people either don't give a shit, they don't care to put the time in, and they say they give a shit. They believe everything that comes off the media, and they just don't think at all. Or they think and they have questions like me. It's fucking insane. I can't believe thinking is something that is at risk in 2018 in America. This shit is just fucked up, Critical thinking? Are you fucking kidding me? You ever heard of fucking debate club? Huh? Or debate class? Fucking current events? History? Fucking take your pick. This shit is not some fucking distant fucking planetary information here. Like, oh, well, we don't only know that if we were on this planet. No, this is America on the earth, all right? And on this earth, we have current events. We used to debate. We used to fucking take these events in and speculate on them. We used to point things out that the media didn't say. We used to fucking think. And one might call this thinking critical. Fucking ridiculous. Anyways, y'all enjoy the... Fucking wizard. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day. Whenever y'all see this, till the next one. I hear, already, fucking few hours ago, there was a shooting in Pittsburgh. I know nothing about it. It was at a synagogue, but other than that, I don't know. It might not even be anything suspicious there. Again, this being sweeps week for the political motherfuckers, you never know what's going to happen before an election or a midterm. So I was just going to keep my eyes open. I encourage you to do the same. What I'm suggesting isn't harmful in any way. Be aware, think. Thank you.